Welcome to this webinar focusing on the preparation of the new academic year. It's less than 2 months to go, and I'm sure that you're all eager to come to The Hague, to the Netherlands. You will all be very busy preparing your stay here in The Hague. So that will be the focus of this webinar as well. With me at the table, I have Debby and Lara, who are two of the current students at ISS. They will introduce themselves later on. And Els, who is working in the admission office and can answer all the practical questions that you might have. My name is Wieke Blauw, and I'm a policy advisor at ISS. So we start this webinar with a short presentation on the programs that we have on offer. Then I move on to the practicalities of getting you all here. Then we have some attention for student life, and then we have ample time for a question and answer session. There is a chat box environment, and please, if you have any questions, raise them in the chat box, and we will deal with them after the presentations. So let me start with telling you a bit about our ISS student body. You see a world map with the percentages of where our students are coming from, and you can see that we have two big groups, one from Asia, one from Africa, and one from Latin America, but that we have a fairly even spread all over the world where our students are coming from. This year, we are expecting about 150 students in our programs, who will be all arriving in the last weekend of August. And when you are coming here, you will meet also the old batch of students who have been here for a year and who will graduate in December. And the advantage of having two batches of students in the study program is that the old group can introduce you to The Hague, to life in the Netherlands. They come to Schiphol, to the airport to pick you up. And I think that's a nice opportunity to get to know many people here in ISS. Also, we have a group of PhD students or researchers at ISS. We have about 120 of those in ISS, and it's all teaching and all research is taking place in the ISS building that you just saw on the screen. We have students from all continents, but we have also students with a whole area of different backgrounds. We have people with 20 years of work experience, and we have fresh graduates. We have students who are working as a government official, at the ministry, or people who are working as a local community officer. We have students who are a teacher in a university or who are a researcher. And we have also people coming from the NGO world or the international organizations. And there's a group of fresh graduates. So we have a very diverse student body, both in terms of work experience, age, continents where we are coming from. And that creates a very stimulating and vibrant atmosphere where you will learn as much from the other students as you will learn from the teachers. I would like now to give a short introduction to the two master programs that we are offering. And I'll start with the program in development studies. The vast majority of our students in the MA program are in the MA in development studies. And you have applied to one of the 5 or 6 majors that we have on offer. And when you're coming in the first week, we start with the introduction week. And in this introduction week, you're also asked to take a diagnostic test. We have one test on the numerical skills, on academic skills, and on language. This diagnostic test has to be taken by all the students, and it serves primarily for yourself to get to know where your weak spots are and where you can improve. So we offer remedial courses, we offer English remedial courses, but also the statistical courses to bring you up to the level that is needed to be successful in our study program. In the first week, we also have counseling on the foundation courses that we are offering. We offer foundation courses in sociology, in political science, and in economics. And we offer those courses at advanced and intermediate level. So it depends on your background that you take a course at intermediate or at advanced level. But you will receive counseling in the very first week about which courses to take. Then we start also right in September with the general course on development studies. That is the major course that brings coherence in the program of development studies. You take that course with all the students, and it's a combination of lectures and tutorials in small groups, which are a mix of students from the various majors and various backgrounds to get as much interaction as possible and to get to know each other, of course. And then in November, we start with the core course for your major. So then you're really focusing in your own major, and the size of a major is between 20 and 40 students on average. So then you will really work as a cohort in a major in the second half of the first term. So then we're moving to the second and the third term, and in those 2 terms, you are taking further major courses and also optional courses. You will get counseling in November on which courses you might want to take. In these 2 terms, you also get research methodology courses. And the research paper or the thesis is a very important component of our study program. So we start quite early with helping you to prepare for your research paper and for the research methodology courses that you want to take that fit in your research proposal. So after term 3 ends, you have time to write on your research paper. Many of our students are going back either to their own country or they're going to other countries to gather primary data. But we also have quite a group of students who decide to stay in The Hague and do their research here. This was very briefly on our MA in Development Studies, but please check on our website the academic calendar. We don't have the new academic calendar uploaded yet. It will take place in the second half of August, but the differences are not that big. So if you want to orientate yourself more on the structure of the program or the content of the courses, please check our academic calendar on the website. So I now move to the other master program that we are offering. That is an Erasmus Mundus, so the European Union funded program in public policy. It's a 2-year program where the students are the first year either at ISS or they're going to our partner Central European University in Budapest. And the second year they are in Barcelona in eBay or in the University of York in England. This group of students is a much smaller group. We are expecting between the 15 and 20 students in this program, but they will also form part of the ISS MA community, but also they will form a cohort with the students who are the first year in Budapest in the program. In term 1, the Mundus MAP students have their own courses. One of those courses takes place in Rotterdam at the Erasmus University, so you will have to travel to Rotterdam, which is about an hour travel. And in term 2 and 3, you will share the courses with the students in the MA in Development Studies, so that all the courses on specific topics and the research methodology courses. The Mundus MAP students do not write a research paper like the students in the Development Studies, but instead in the first year they have to write a thesis report, which is a preparation document for the thesis which has to be written in the second year. But you will find more information about the study program in the program guide on the website of mundusmap.org. And you will hear a lot in the introduction when you're coming here to ISS. So this was a short introduction to our study program. So now I would like to turn to the practicalities, the preparation of your stay. Well, we have an admission office with Marianne, Els and Amina, and they are very busy at the moment with preparing your stay. So they assist you in getting the financial side of your stay well organized, arrange the visa, insurances, travel, housing. So they are very busy at the moment. And I know that many of you have questions and you're asking your questions and you are worried about all kinds of things and you're asking your questions, and that's very good. But I can assure you that they as a team have over 20 years of work experience in getting all the international students here in time in the Netherlands. So don't worry. We will make sure that you will all arrive safely here in the Netherlands and can start your study program. So for most of the students, the visa application started already. This whole visa application is put in motion by the admission office of ISS, but then it's taken over by the international office of the Erasmus University in Rotterdam, because we are under the umbrella of Erasmus University and we have a fast-track procedure at the university to arrange the visa for the international students that are coming to the Erasmus University. So I would advise you to follow all the steps that are indicated by either the admission office of ISS or the international office. And if you have questions or doubts, ask your questions. But it's quite a smooth procedure in the various steps that have to be taken. And then I get to insurances. In the Netherlands, it's obligatory for everyone to have an insurance. So all Dutch people have an insurance, and also all students who are coming to the Netherlands are supposed to have an insurance. So either you have your own insurance with a world coverage, then you have to send a proof of this insurance to the admission office. If you don't have insurance, the ISS can arrange an insurance for you with Aon, which is a company that is specialized in insurance for international students. That's also taken care of by the admission office. Then the travel. For some of you, the ISS will arrange your flight ticket. That's part of an agreement that we have with some sponsors. But many of you will have to arrange the flight themselves. We like to ask you to inform the admission office of your flight, your time and date of arrival, and your flight number, so that we know when to expect you and we can make sure that everything is in order. But also to arrange for a pickup service in Schiphol, in the airport. Then I get to housing. The people of you who have registered already, they did receive an email to register for housing. There are two options. Either you decide to make use of the arrangements that ISS has with some hostels to stay in ISS housing, or you find housing yourself. When you are interested to do it via ISS, you receive a link there. You can indicate your preference for a specific housing. We have two quite big buildings just around the corner where most of our students stay. We also have a housing arrangement with some housing a bit further away from ISS, which are a bit cheaper, but that's limited. We try to do our best to make your first choice possible, but we can't arrange everything. So we will take into account your preferences, but we're not sure whether we can live up to that. You might also want to prefer to live outside the ISS community and live somewhere else in The Hague. And on our website, we provide a couple of links to agencies that are, agencies that are intermediating with housing opportunities. When you are looking on the private market, you have to be aware that the prices are most likely to be excluding gas and electricity and additional costs. And those additional costs can be around 100 euros. So you have to take that into account, that comes on top of the rent. Also, normally when you are renting out a house in the Netherlands or a room, it's not furnished. So that's also something to check what exactly you are applying for. But check our website and check the links and see what fits you best and what you would like most. So now I get to the final part of this presentation, and that's about student life. And actually, I think I should not be the person talking about student life, but the students should do so. So I leave it up to you to say most of it. But let me just say that we have a first introduction program when you are arriving at ISS of 1.5 weeks, which is a combination of getting all practicalities organized, registration with the municipality, setting up a bank account, settling in your housing, but also an introduction to the academic program, getting to know each other, meeting the staff, the teaching staff. And also we pay a lot of attention to intercultural communication, because like we've said before, we have students coming from all over the world with all their own specificities and cultural luggage, so to say. And it's good to know a bit about each other's backgrounds when you're coming to the ISS. The students are organized in the student organization Scholas. They are organizing, they have a lot of committees, they are organizing a lot of activities and events. We also have a welfare office who are organizing trips and sports days and performances. So there's a lot happening outside the academic program, and I think that's also nice to be part of. And Lara and Debby can tell you more about it later on. So I now get to the final sheet of my presentation. That's Let's Connect. And I think most of you will be already on our Facebook group for prospective students. There's also a WhatsApp group for prospective students, and that's really a nice opportunity to get to know each other, to find out if there's someone else from your country coming to the ISS. You can also ask questions that you would like to ask to fellow students. And there are some of the current students are also in the Facebook group and on the WhatsApp, so they can answer also questions that you might have. But you can also ask your questions right now in the chat box, and we try to answer them as much as possible. Well, now I get to the end of my talking. I did a lot of talking, so I now would like to hand over to Els. Can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Els Veldman and I work in the admissions office together with two colleagues, Amina Said and Marianne van Dieren. And well, currently we are very busy preparing everything for your arrival here in The Hague. Preparing means still processing applications at the moment for last minute applicants. But at the same time, we're very busy with getting everyone's visa being approved through the international office of Erasmus University. That is quite a large group. There is always a very busy period for us, but also for the international office and also for the immigration authorities in the Netherlands. Because basically this is peak season for all universities and their international students to get visa approved. So it may take a while before your application will be handled, but you should not worry, because from experience we know that all visas will be approved in time for you to arrive here at ISS. So please don't worry if they don't communicate to you directly. At the same time, my colleague Amina is preparing the flights for those who we arrange flights for. She's in contact with you. She has already, I think, reserved quite a lot of the flights. And we're also handling requests from people who would like to know more about the financial possibilities, what can be done, how can we apply, etc., etc. So it's quite a busy period for us arranging everything, but we do it with a smile, because we all want you to be here in time, and we want to make the whole procedure as smoothly as possible for you to arrive here.
Maybe we should ask Amina, who's sitting here in the room with us, also to come to the other side of the camera and to introduce herself, so you can see the face behind all the emails that she's sending.
Hi, I'm Amina from admission.
The other colleague is not here, Marianne, but the three of us, we're taking care of all of you and trying to get you here in time to start your program.
Thank you, Els. Lara, maybe you can introduce yourself, tell a bit about your background and your experience when you were preparing.
Hi everybody, I'm Lara. I'm a British student, but I'm actually from Zimbabwe, and I'm from ISS Stream. We arrived here in September, and like I'm sure your feeling was very, I was very nervous to come all this way to the Netherlands. It's far from home, but the admissions office really helped us, and they helped calm us down, and they really made the transition very smooth for us. So yes, if you have any questions, they always have. But like they said, they're very busy, so it might take some time. But even our students also here, if you talk to someone, need some students' advice, I'm sure we'll be happy to help.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm sure there will be many questions for you as well. So Debbie, maybe you can introduce yourself as well.
Hi everybody. Yeah, I'm Debby Omolo. I'm from Kenya, but I've lived in South Africa for 15 years, so I came from South Africa. And I'm studying MA development, but social justice perspectives major. Yeah, as Lara has said, it's a bit of a moment of anxiety, but I learned later on that I shouldn't have been anxious at all, because when I got here, everything went very, very smoothly. I mean, the student office is amazing. The student cohort as well, the old batch, help you a lot. So we'll be here, and what is nice about the ISS community is, because I think we've been through that experience, everybody is so helpful. And if you've got any problems, any questions, do not hesitate to ask. Yeah, and it's all really, really good. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think we should also ask Darren to come to the other side of the table. Many of you know Darren already from all the emails and Facebook announcements, but this is Darren.
Hi guys. Yes, yeah, I'm really excited. We've been exchanging a lot of emails, and I'm excited to have all of you here in September. But there's something that I really want to add to what Vika, my colleague, said about Let's Connect. I think one of incoming students have created a WhatsApp group, and it's in the perspective page in Facebook. I think you should join the WhatsApp group, because then you can meet all your future colleagues in there. So you can make arrangement to come together or something like that. Yeah. Well, see you in September.
Well, thank you, Darren. So now you know everyone who's here in this room together. I think we have quite some questions already in the chat box. So Darren, you are our moderator,
yes,
so to say. Maybe you can ask some questions.
Yes. Now, there are a few questions about insurance. I think maybe either maybe else can answer this probably better. They want to know, what does it cover? Is it necessary to have it? And by when does it start, the insurance?
Okay. Well, first of all, yes, it is necessary that you have to have an insurance, like Vika already told you in her presentation, because everyone here in the Netherlands should have a health insurance. And the one that we offer is called Aon, and we've been using it for quite some time. It's rather a good insurance, I think. They are geared especially for international students, and of course it covers the basic medical assistance like visits to the doctor, etc. But it also covers the liability, so in case anything happens to you, you're also covered by that part of the insurance. We take care of arranging it for you, and it starts, I think, 2 days, 3 days before your actual arrival here in the Netherlands, and it covers your entire study period here at ISS.
So it also covers your traveling to ISS.
Yeah, but of course, if you come here earlier than the 2 or 3 days before the start of the program, you will have to take care of getting your own travel insurance, so that at least you are covered during your travel here.
Okay, thank you very much, Els.
Yeah.
I think this is another question for you. Some students are still waiting for scholarships. Scholarships, loan, or extra funding, and they're asking when is the last day they can give you this information so you can apply for the visa?
Yeah. Well, if we have to apply for visa, you have to take into account that the visa procedure may take 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the workload in several offices, and it's peak period, so it may take at least 6 weeks. So if we are now 10 July, so I always say 15 July would be ideal if you could either transfer the cost or make sure that you have enough money. But yeah, like we always explain in our emails, in order for us to apply for the visa, you need to transfer all the costs that we mention in the email and in the invoice, because we are not allowed to apply for the visa if you have not transferred the cost, if you are a self-financing student. If you have a scholarship, like for instance OKP, all the costs are covered by that scholarship. So for those people, we have already applied for the visa, and those are secure and everything. But yeah, the transfer of the cost should ideally be in 15th of July. A little bit later is still fine. That's no problem.
So by the end of next week.
Yeah, preferably. Yeah.
Thank you, Els. Something for the students is a 3-pronged question. You can take your time and answer that. About opening a bank account, SIM card, and public transportation system. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit more so that the incoming students can understand a little bit about all these 3 things.
Okay, maybe I'll start with the opening of the bank account. Don't worry about that. That is all sorted out by the student office. They made arrangements for us and appointments as well. And it's with ING Bank, or I think
it's ING.
Still ING Bank. Yeah, so that's don't worry about that, but just make sure you carry what is required, your passport and whatever else is needed. So opening a bank account is fine.
So yeah, also your bank accounts have, I think, in the first week that we are here.
Yeah, we hope to be able to arrange that in the first week, but we're still negotiating that.
Okay. Yeah. So, but also I think because there's a few days that you don't have a bank account, it's best to bring some money for those days so you can cover your transport costs from the airport, food and all that kind of stuff, because you don't have that account yet. And then to the SIM card, I got mine. You can get a free SIM card from a lot of the shops. The only thing you have to pay for is your data or your plan that you decide to take out from that. But the SIM cards are free and they're readily available all over.
Yeah, and I mean there's a place just across from ISS, very close, where you can get your SIM card. And then also for the bank account, before there's an amount that is given to students just for that transition period before you actually have the bank account.
That would be in advance, and how that is going to be paid to you, we are still negotiating with the financial department here at ISS. But of course, we won't let you live here without any money. So don't worry, you don't have to eat grass or anything. No, we make sure you have some money, and that will all be arranged and explained to you.
And then the public transport, when you come to ISS and you register, they give you a card that you can use on all the public transport with some money on it, so that but obviously you don't get that card as soon as you arrive in the Netherlands. So you will have to buy a ticket to travel on the metro from the airport. But hopefully if there's a student there or someone there as you arrive in the airport, they will show you how to do that. But yeah, that is an anonymous card.
Yeah, it's an anonymous card.
But you can also get a personalized card which has your picture on it and your details, and that costs a bit of money, but it helps. You can get some discounts if you buy the specific package for that.
Yeah.
Maybe a good thing for me to say is that the public transport here in the Netherlands is very well organized. It's also very safe. So don't worry about taking a tram or a train or using the public transport because it is really quite safe.
And also, if you haven't learned how to use a bicycle yet, I would recommend that because everybody cycles here and it's also a lot of fun. It's not something I was used to, but like, I have a lot of friends who learned while they're here. I mean, it's possible, but if you can try learn before you come, I would recommend that. And it costs you can buy a bike for about 50 euros if you or something like around that if you don't mind like a cheap bike you can buy it online secondhand or stuff like that. But if you want a more specialized bike, you can, I mean, they're much more expensive, 100, 200, 300 euros. But yeah, just be careful. Bikes do get stolen quite a bit in the Netherlands, but otherwise, if you lock it up, then it's generally safe.
Yeah. So I'm one of those students who never really learned, but I learned to ride at ISS. I do walk a lot as well. Like, you know, don't worry too much if you cannot ride a bike. It would be most ideal. But if you can't also, yeah, and it's also a much cheaper way to travel if you can. But also if you can't and it's not your thing, yeah, you can walk as well. But I highly recommend it too.
Yeah. And just to add, there are a lot of students that will be leaving as well. So they will be putting their bicycles and their stuff for sale. So when you come here, you can also buy bicycles of them. So you don't have to really search so much, let's say. Now, maybe for the students again, the weather. and relating to that, what kind of clothes do you think we need to bring in order to fight the weather?
So yeah, you know, I'm one of those people that was born right in the middle of the tropics under the equator, and yeah, when you get here in September, it's not too bad. It hasn't started really getting cold, so you have some time to kind of like adjust to the cold. But you know, try and bring warm clothes as much as you can. But also, you know, there's yeah, you can buy clothes here. There's lots of secondhand shops as well, and also the students that are leaving sometimes also like sell their clothes or give away clothing and stuff like that. So that's always nice. So there's plenty of options available for you to actually buy appropriate clothing, because like for example in Kenya, like I would not have been able to buy any winter clothes, but just bring warm clothes and then you can buy stuff here that's really appropriate for winter.
And also I think something that also I was not used to coming from Zimbabwe is that it does get very cold. So you will probably purchase a winter jacket and be wearing it almost every day because you will need that. And boots.
Rain jacket.
And yeah, rain jackets, all that kind of stuff. But like you say, like there's a lot of students that are leaving or probably be able to sell their stuff or give it away. But also we here and we can advise you when you arrive where you can get it from, appropriate pricing, and then also for the winter, it's generally it gets dark for a longer period of time, and you wake up and you know it's still dark, and you go to bed, like you leave and go home and it's dark. So it's something that I was not prepared for. I didn't realize. People say winter is quite cold and dark, they rarely mean it. And it's something where like I think we have to be very careful because a lot of students don't feel like getting out of bed, don't feel like doing stuff, and so we just have to keep each other accountable, make sure we come to the lectures and all that kind of stuff. But you know, because we're such a small group, you're all like looking after each other and helping each other out. And but yeah, and also something that I wasn't used to is like the winter here is quite long and quite cold for a long period of time. So I think maybe 3, 4, or maybe a month ago we saw when we stopped really wearing thick jerseys. I mean, even today it's raining, which was but yeah, the weather is a bit different, but you can only understand it until you've lived through it. So come here and experience it. But like we said, we're here. I mean, the admin office is here. They can help you. We can help you. And I promise we won't bite. We're very nice people, like, so we're happy to help.
Well, thank you very much, Debbie and Lara. We have a question now about pickup service. So I'm not sure. Speaker, yeah, maybe we, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
They want to know how does it work, and will there be someone always be there, or is there a volunteer thing, or?
Well, it is. Well, we know approximately how many people are coming and when people are coming. So, and then we ask the current students, so we refer to them as the old batch in a minute. They know from a list when people will arrive at Schiphol. So usually people will volunteer to go to Schiphol to pick you up. Of course, not all the time there will be someone to pick you up. It could be that it's just not the right timing, or I mean, they do their best to pick you up. But if there is no one around, let's say for about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, you can find your own way. And I think this week, or maybe the beginning of next week, the admission office will send you an informative email, and then we will include very detailed information on how you get to ISS in case there's no one to pick you up. So don't get stressed, don't get worried. It is very clear in the email that we are going to send you how you go about traveling to ISS. I would not recommend taking a taxi because that's very expensive. Take the train, and it's very easy to buy a ticket. There are lots of people at the train station who can help you with that and who are willing to help you. So don't worry. Also, getting your luggage on the train, is always someone who can help you carrying your suitcase on the train, so don't worry. But again, many students of the old batch will be there to pick you up. And when you come here during the day, we, the admission office, and also the welfare office will work in the weekend of 31st of August and the 1st of September to welcome everyone. So when you arrive during those days, we will be here, I think, between 8 and 4 or something to welcome you. And we will make sure that the keys to your room will be there as well, so you can pick up your key and go to your room and get a rest and read through all the information that we give to you. So yeah, and if you arrive in the week before, we start registering students as from Friday 30 August, I think. Yeah, because we're still preparing and doing a lot of preparations. But we're here, so you can come and we can help you and get you settled.
So I can add something. I arrived earlier, a lot earlier than a lot of the students, and I also arrived at a really awkward time as well. And there was nobody to meet me, but I was well prepared, and so I was able to get here. No worries, it's simple. There's information desks, you know, at the airport, where to buy the train ticket. There's information everywhere. You know, there's always somebody at hand to help. Just look around and, you know, look for the eye information. And you know, don't be nervous. It's quite. And then also, what I found about Dutch people is they're very friendly. And you know, if you stand around looking lost, somebody will help. And also, I had a lot of luggage. I had so much luggage because I came with my child, and so we had about 6. Yeah, and people helped us. Yeah, like, people helped us. Yeah, we had 6 suitcases. And it was all very, very nice. That was a nice way to actually, you know, get to the Netherlands. So my experience was really nice. And clearly, you know, we were tired. We traveled all the way from South Africa. So that was really nice. So, you know, if there's nobody there to help you, you will get just, yeah, you will be fine. I can assure you. I went through it.
There's Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi at the airport and in the train, so you can use that to help with directions, which really helped me because I didn't have a SIM card then, but it really helped.
Okay, thank you, everyone. But relating to coming earlier and housing, so some students were asking if I were to come early, can I still pick up the key and get in, or do I have to find something outside? And is there any recommendation for that?
Yeah. Well, the room will not be available any earlier than the Saturday 31st of August, because the duo, the rental agency, is taking care of getting it cleaned, doing the last preparations or fixing things, whatever. Also, your rental contract starts the 1st of September, and that basically means that the day before is 31st of August, and that will be the first date that the room will be made available. So yeah, if you're coming early, you should make your own arrangements. If you Google the address of ISS and you look for hotels, there are quite a lot of hotels in the neighborhood. You have the Stay OK hostel.
It's a youth hostel.
Sorry?
That's a youth hostel.
Yeah, the youth hostel. That has private rooms, but it has also, how do you say that, sleeping arrangements with dormitory like, yeah, with 6 beds or 8 beds, and then you share toilets and bathrooms. But of course you have loads of hotels, so you can easily find it on the internet if you intend to come earlier and have to look for your own accommodation the first few days, or if you come earlier than a week, the first week. But the room that you reserve or will reserve is only available as from Saturday. Yeah.
So thank you very much for that clear explanation.
Yeah.
For the students, some were asking about because the Mundus MAP student get to travel to Barcelona or York. Do you get to travel?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Please elaborate.
Yeah, well, I think the first of all, when you get here, there'll be quite a good orientation program. We went to, we saw a lot of The Hague, and also we went to Amsterdam as well. But then during weekends, some of the weekends when you're free, we get to travel. But obviously, as far as I have to say that the first semester and the second semester are quite busy, but you need a break. You need to let your hair down. And what's nice about the Netherlands is it's centrally located in Europe. So getting to other European countries is not very hard. And I think there's student prices for some packages, which quite a lot of the students access. So yeah, you can do, and it's a good idea to do that. You've got the opportunity. To do that.
So we don't, like the Mundus MAP, they study in another country. We don't study in a country, but like she said, we get to travel if you want. That's all on your own choice. Like a few of my yeah, exactly, and your own money. Yeah. A lot of people do travel a lot. Like over last year Christmas, my friends and I went on a Euro trip as well. We went to Prague, we went to Vienna, we went to Budapest by ourselves. So that was all our own funding. But also each major gets a study trip, so different places. So for AFES, we went to Romania. I don't know.
SJP went to Brussels, and I didn't go for it, unfortunately. Yeah. But yeah, it was.
And then the ECD, they went to Ireland. Other people.
Budapest.
Yeah. So yeah, you do get to travel, and then yeah, so it's just up to you. I mean, like the Mundus MAP, they get to study another country. We don't get to study, but we do get to travel, and it's so easy to get to Belgium. It's just like around the corner. Not something we are used to. Because we have to take flights, and there's trains, there's buses, and there is flights, but we would recommend taking a bus or taking a train or something, because it's more environmentally friendly, being AFES cheap, but also cheaper,
and you get to see more. You get to see a bit more of the country as well when you travel on the train or a bus. So it's really nice.
And if you really are brave, some of my friends want to cycle across the country. So you can do that if you want, but I will not be doing that.
And it's heavily discounted, right? When you travel for the program, for your major.
Yes. You do get funding from your major for helping with your some travel costs, not all of it, but it is, and I think that's part of the cost that you pay.
I think so, yeah.
Very good. Now, I don't know if you have answered this question earlier on, else, but when students come here, especially the students who have paid to show the Dutch government a little bit more money in advance, when do they get back that money? Do they get back monthly or a lump sum?
No, you get it back as a lump sum because that's the money you paid for your living expenses for 1 year. It's just proof to IND, the immigration, that you have sufficient means to come here, but it's not ours to pay to you monthly. It's yours. So you get it back as one lump sum in the beginning of, I think in September somewhere, but it depends on when you get your Dutch bank account, because they will pay it back to the Dutch bank account. And then the advance and ISS also takes care of paying the first month's rent will be deducted from that, but that will all be calculated by our financial department. So don't worry, you get it back as one lump sum.
Okay, thank you very much, Els. For OKP students, they also will get the allowances monthly?
Yeah, they get it monthly, yeah.
Okay. Now, so many questions.
Maybe a question for Wieke.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not many. They're more interested for the student.
Rightly so. Yeah.
About scholarship, well, not really. It's about scholarship and accommodation. Some students say that they have received the OKP scholarship, Tri-Linden scholarship. Do they have to stay in the ISS dormitory? Is it mandatory, or can they choose not to?
No, you have to stay in ISS premises.
Okay, that's very clear. Something for the students. Would you like to explain a little bit more about the diagnostic test that you have taken term 1?
I have to think that hard.
I mean, for my case, I just came out of my bachelor's degree, so when I took the diagnostic test, a lot of the stuff that I covered already comes in pretty easy. So there was an English test. I am a native English speaker. For me, that was pretty simple. But like a lot of students are coming from a lot of backgrounds, so they have different levels of English. And then if you happen to not fully pass that, there are remedial tests, remedial lessons that will help you to then take that test. I think you take the test again, and everyone passes. And then there was a Excel test, which also was not very difficult. It just they just want to assess the level that you are at, and then to give you lessons to help with the process. So they are not as hard at all. They don't want you to fail. They just want to assess the level that you're at, so that they can help you through the these are the type of thing that you'll be doing in the course.
Yeah, well, no, for me, I had been in school since 2001, so it was a couple of years since I had been in school, but they're not difficult. The main idea is basically to just identify gaps, because we all come from many diverse backgrounds and many different educational systems. So it's really to our advantage that we take this test. You don't have to prepare for the tests, so don't be anxious about the test. And as Lara has pointed out, any gaps that appear, you know, there's classes, and you will be fine. By the time you're through those classes, if you don't pass the diagnostic tests, by the time you're retaking the test, you will definitely. I mean, it's very, very good. It's very well geared towards the needs of those who don't pass it. So again, don't worry about the diagnostics test. No need to prepare.
It's more like an exercise than a test. So rather not say a test, it's an exercise.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. Do you have anything to add, Vika, to that? No.
No, that's
Okay.
fine.
For the migration students, some wants to know about travel costs. Will it be covered when they have to travel to all these different universities?
I think so. Yes, because also this week, I think the migration students will receive an email from admission office explaining regarding the travel, because you will have courses in Rotterdam, you will have courses in Leiden, and also in Delft, and of course here at ISS. And we know from students last that are currently here that they had to travel quite a lot, but indeed costs will be reimbursed.
Thank you very much, Els. One question for Vika.
Hey.
Now, it's about Mundus Map. One student is asking, when should we come to the Netherlands, and do we have any introductory program before the 2nd of November? Does it overlap with the master program, or?
And you can participate in the same introduction week as the MA in Development Studies students. And you also have at least one course starting right in the beginning, of course, on development economics and public policy. So yes, the same applies to you as well. So start on the 2nd of September with the introduction week. And you will meet the convener of the program, Karin Knio, in the first week as well. And he will explain to you also about the structure and the setup of the program. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Vika. I have 2 more questions, but it's for the students. We have some time. Now, about the Dutch Day and the International Evening, can you elaborate? How was it? Did you enjoy yourself? What does it entail? If you raise International Evening. Oh, yeah, can you please explain about that?
The International Evening was a lot of fun. So, I think it's one of the highlights of the first term that we had, and it's so we each person or group of students from countries sign up for this day, and then you get given a booth or where you can display stuff about your country or your area or anything like that. And then you also get money to then make food that is native to your country, and then you can give this food on the day. So they can dress up, and I think there's lots of pictures online of the different days that have happened previously. And so I didn't sign up for my country, but I enjoyed the day very much. It was a lot of fun. And people put a lot of effort. A lot of people put and they make a lot of food, and people just come together. There's music, there's performances, there's dance, there's all this kind of stuff, and everybody has fun.
Yeah. So it's important just to remember to bring something from your country. I did remember to do that, but yeah, it was still lots of fun, and you can perform a dance or something, something that's native to you, and on that day there's just a lot of color and a lot of fun, a lot of noises, just
a lot of laughter.
A lot of laughter. Yeah, it's definitely a highlight for me as well. It was, and yeah, if maybe if you have luggage restrictions and stuff like that, what I noticed a lot of the students did was they went back to their embassies and they actually got something from their consulate or their, So you can also do that as well. And it's really nice. And then what's also very nice about it is, there's outsiders from ISS that I think look forward to that day as well. And it's their chance to interact with many different cultures as well. So it's not just the ISS cohort, but it's also open to, and you can invite your friends perhaps who are not at ISS, and it's lots of fun.
Okay, so we have a few minutes left. Maybe we can conclude by the students, current students here, Lara and Debbie, to give one advice to the audience about how to prepare, like mentally, like the one thing that you think was a challenge for you that you overcome, and
Okay. For me, because I am one of the few students that traveled with a child, I had to come in earlier. I came in April, for example, to find a school for my son, and so I had to do a lot more preparation than my other colleagues. But I have to say, I came to ISS. I even ended up attending a class, which was nice. So that kind of prepared me, because I was obviously a lot more anxious than I think other people. But I got a lot of help from the student office, just in terms of the advice, and that sort of thing. So mentally, I think really, guys, relax. Relax. I think that would be my advice. Just get yourself, do what you need to do, and whatever else needs to be done here, there's a lot of help for that. But just one piece of advice from me is, if you're going to come earlier, like I did, please make sure that your travel insurance covers you for more for the time until the official registration at ISS, because you don't want to be caught without insurance and something happens to you. It's a new environment, it's a new country, so you could come up with something and you need to see a doctor, and if you don't have insurance, then you really have a problem. So if you're coming earlier, get your travel insurance, talk to your travel insurance to just cover you until the day that the Aon insurance kicks in. So that's very important.
For me, I think I did not do this, and I would recommend that maybe you learn a bit of Dutch before you come. I mean, there's the city is very international, so there's a lot of people that speak different languages, and there's a lot of people that understand. If you say you don't speak Dutch, they will transition into English, but I think it's also very important to learn the local language. And obviously there's a lot of apps online, or that can help you just learn the basics. That could help you just transition into this process. But it's not mandatory, but I would just recommend that. And like she said, relax. I know that's very hard to. It's so easy for us to say now because we've gone through it. I mean, I was very nervous, but the process is, and if something would happen, which is probably not going to happen, you will be okay. Like, there's people around, they will be very helpful. They can guide you, can give you advice, and like we said, we're here. We can answer questions. I'm sure Darren can ask us to speak to some of you if it's needed. But yes, relax.
Thank you very much. Anything you would like to add else, Vika?
It's just that I want to see all your faces here. We've been communicating so many times and a lot through email. So my highlight will always be seeing you, welcoming you here during the welcome weekend, arrival weekend. So please, looking forward to it very much.
Fantastic. Well, I don't have anything to add. I had my share of talking in the beginning, of course, and took that opportunity. So I'm off on holiday cycling along the river the Rhine, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
would really stimulate you to start cycling as well. It's really fun. And thank you for joining us in this webinar and participating. If you have any other questions that you didn't think of in this hour but come up later, please ask them either in the Facebook group for prospective students, in the WhatsApp group. Ask Darren, ask the admission office, ask anyone, and you will get an answer, hopefully. So we're looking forward to seeing you in less than 2 months' time.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.